Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. So recently, Ben Bolquet, the creator of the Amazing World of Gumball, took to Twitter to discuss the fate of the Gumball movie, and it seems like everything is still very much up in the air. So what he had to say exactly was when a fan asked him what is happening with the Gumball movie because we've heard of some problems with HBO Max, etc., Ben responded saying it's a bit of a Schrodinger's cat question at the moment. And so for those of you who don't know what Schrodinger's cat is, it's essentially this thought experiment that states if you place a cat in a box and something that could potentially kill the cat in the box, is that cat dead or alive? And the answer is you won't know until you open the box, so technically speaking, at that point in time, the cat is both dead and alive simultaneously. In other words, what Ben is saying here about the Gumball movie is that right now it's both cancelled and it's both not cancelled. It's both dead and alive, meaning that the fate of the movie is very much up in the air. And this is pretty much confirming what we've all been thinking and what I've been speculating on in recent videos. In some recent videos where the Gumball movie Batman Cape Crusader along with 4 other programs were cancelled from HBO Max, I was saying these shows are effectively cancelled until they are picked up by another network or another streaming service, essentially meaning they're not happening until you find out they're happening, if that makes sense. Like, yes, they still are in production, but if they don't find another home, they're going to be canceled. So essentially, as Ben said, the movie is both dead and it's both alive at the same time. It's currently in production, but that doesn't mean that it's ever going to air. And actually, Ben goes on to say, he has a second tweet which reads, "But deep in my heart, I believe the cat will live." So essentially, he's saying deep in his heart, he thinks the Gumball movie will eventually release and it will come out at some point. And obviously that's great to hear that he's positive about the, fate of the movie. Maybe he has a little more details than we have right now as to what's happening with it. Although from what we've seen, the communication from Warner Brothers Discovery hasn't exactly been the greatest from the perspective of the creators. They haven't exactly been telling them exactly what's going on. But who knows, maybe Ben has some connection to someone inside of Warner Brothers Discovery where he's hearing that your movie most likely will come out. It is probably not going to get canceled, but all in all, I would still say everything is still up in the air. Essentially, the movie, like I said before, in your mind, just say that it's effectively canceled until it gets announced that it's not canceled. That's basically where we are right now with all of these shows. They're not happening until you hear they are happening. Basically, if you guys haven't seen my other videos, what's going on essentially is for these 6 shows that were quote-unquote canceled from HBO Max or canceled by HBO Max, essentially they're all still in production while they're being shopped around. And the whole point of this is that they're going to still make the shows or movies if someone else will buy the rights to it, so then they make more money than airing it on Cartoon Network or HBO Max or wherever else they were going to make it. But in the case where they don't find a buyer to the rights, right? They don't get someone to buy the Amazing World of Gumball movie and put it on their streaming service or whatever the case may be, then they'll just cancel it and use it as a tax write-off. So while yes, it still is in production, like Ben said before, it's both dead and alive at the same time. It is both canceled and not canceled, and we'll just have to wait and see with this whole situation where it ends up. I'd be pretty surprised to see the movie get canceled, given that Gumball is one of the, major Cartoon Network properties right now. And also too, if the movie gets canceled, wouldn't the new Gumball show effectively get canceled as well? Because we don't know much about that Gumball series, but what we can infer from it is whatever occurs in the movie is going to essentially lead into this new series. And if the movie is then canceled, how could we then have a new series that's coming after the movie? You know what I mean? Like, if we're canceling the movie, wouldn't that mean that the show's going to be canceled as well? And I don't think they're going to do that because Gumball, like I said, is pretty much one of Cartoon Network's major properties. It's like, I highly doubt it's going to get canceled. I think it will probably find a home, but who's to say it doesn't or it does? We really don't know. I'd assume someone's going to buy it. I had a video recently discussing how Batman Cape Crusader is receiving a ton of interest. I'll leave a card above to that video if you want to check that one out, but I'd assume someone's going to buy the Gumball movie because look, if Netflix gets the Gumball movie or even Apple TV Plus or I don't know, Hulu or whomever, it's going to bring people to their streaming service, right? It's going to get me to subscribe to whichever one of those streaming services it goes to just because I want to see the Gumball movie, and I'll watch the movie and probably cancel the subscription right after I see it. So they're gonna get people to go on to whatever streaming service it goes on to. They're gonna make money from it, so I'm sure it will probably land somewhere, but as of right now, it's effectively canceled until we hear otherwise. So anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. Are you guys relieved to hear that Ben thinks that this movie will eventually come out and that he's hopeful that we'll see it one day? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.